In combat sport, issues are bound to spark. Especially when Flint's tough girl, Jade Jones, warms up. Or when heavyweight Anthony Joshua wants cash to burn. Yet for all its turmoil, can fight sports be a family-friendly zone? Issues from the heat of battle, here on The Burning Issue. It's a bloodthirsty game where fighters are shown no quarter. But can the brutal world of MMA be family-friendly? Mixed martial arts boasts some terrifying characters. The enormous Elaine Ngalani, for instance. 110 kilograms of sheer punching power that'd drop a bull. Or Amanda Nunes, who monstered the great Ronda Rousey in 2017. With this kind of menace in the cage, the last thing you'd expect to find are good old family values. But there's a fighter flipping that idea on its head.
Angela Lee!
The unstoppable Angela Lee became the youngest MMA world champion in history when she beat Japanese legend Mai Yamaguchi for one championship's atomweight title in 2016, earning her Fight of the Year. She then defended her title against Jenny Wang in March 2017. Then again against Estela Nunes 2 months later, proving
I'm in another class above these girls.
She's as savage as a wolverine in the cage. But Lee's success comes from humble roots. Her father Ken and mother Jules are both black belts in the martial art Habdasur. And Ken has coached Angela and her brother Christian in their small gym in Hawaii since they were kids. Lee does train with Evolve MMA in Singapore too, but owes her knowledge to her family. In fact, Jules always called fighting and training their family activities. That's right, family activities that taught Lee these kinds of punishing knees from the clinch. And her dynamite submissions. Real wholesome stuff. Don't think she just dishes it out either. In Lee's fight with Yamaguchi, she wore a horrific strike in the third round that seemed certain to end her. But she recovered and turned the tide against her far more experienced opponent. While it's a brutal life to show your kids, Lee has become a bona fide role model for young girls around the world. Her glamorous image blending with her grounded manner and undeniable talent. Lee is living proof having family around a fighter can raise a champion. Up next, it's a big call. But can Anthony Joshua become boxing's first billionaire? Up until 2017, no man took heavyweight Anthony Joshua past the 7th round. While he did drop then undefeated American Charles Martin in the 2nd round for the IBF heavyweight belt in April 2016, most of the other guys AJ destroyed along the way were, you might say, cannon fodder for the power-punching Brit. Many wondered if he had the minerals to deal with fighters of higher stature, including him.
I want to show people I'm the real deal, so let's keep on testing ourselves, and sooner or later you'll see the prime Anthony Joshua.
So, to the delight of fans, a fight with mighty Ukrainian Vladimir Klitschko was arranged for April 2017 at London's Wembley Stadium, in front of a record 90,000 spectators. During that fight, Joshua answered some big questions. The first in the 6th round when he got up after being put to the canvas. Klitschko later articulated what many were thinking.
I thought he's gonna get up. He's not, he wouldn't get up. He managed to get up. Respect.
It proved finally there's more to Joshua than just punching power. The second answer arrived in the 11th round when he stopped one of the division's greatest ever, securing the WBA, IBF and IBO belts. And it sent a message out to all challengers.
I'll knock out anyone. I'll knock out anyone, no problem.
There's a bigger issue at stake here, though. Not only does AJ believe he can knock anyone out, he's also declared his intention to become the first billionaire boxer. A billionaire? Can he really get there? While he'd be the first boxer, he wouldn't be the first athlete. Michael Jordan's fortune on the back of his NBA career and endorsements is now north of $1 billion. AJ's brand is fast becoming a phenomenon, approaching that of Floyd Money Mayweather, who smashed all fight-earning records when he pocketed $230 million for his 2015 victory over Manny Pacquiao. Thing is, Joshua has what Floyd always wanted, the ability to knock guys into next Tuesday, creating spectacles that saw fighters like Mike Tyson become so popular. Having said that, Joshua lacks the trash-talking swagger of Mayweather.
I talk it how I walk it, I back it up. As I said, I don't flip tables and punch people in press conferences. To have to show you that I'm a good fighter and I'm dedicated, I just try and back it up in the ring.
He has certainly backed it up. When Tyson Fury commented that AJ is more like a bodybuilder than a boxer back in 2016, this was his response.
What am I going to lower myself to his level for? You know, he needs to represent himself like a champion. He's a kid, talks like a kid. So I won't really say much to that, because I'm not going to lower myself to his level.
Noting also that when he beat Martin earlier that year,
and you see what an 8-pack and some muscles can do, knock a champion out in 2 rounds.
lacking showmanship might seem counterintuitive to becoming a billionaire. But AJ's manager, Eddie Hearn, points out his fighter has other draw cards.
When was the last time in boxing we had a role model that young children wanted to be like? Or when was the last time a parent wanted their child to be like a certain kind of fighter? If I had a son and he said to me, I want to be just like Anthony Joshua, I'd be quite pleased with that.
Cheers.
But it's not just the kids. Joshua is attracting A-list celebrities to his cause, like music mogul Dr. Dre, who Skyped the champ before the Klitschko bout. The fact he pulls off a suit in a way that makes the ladies go gaga can't hurt either. So while he might not do it via the usual avenues of trash talk and press room punch-ups, and let's be honest, it'll probably take a long, successful career and some good investments, but AJ might just have the ingredients to become boxing's first billionaire. French heavyweight judoka Teddy Riner has rolled a lot of guys in his career. He was the first judoka ever to win 8 world titles, and gold at the London and Rio Games now sit alongside his bronze from Beijing. Having a name like Teddy has set up the most fantastic irony too. Nicknames like Teddy Bear and Big Ted. Such a joy when the guy utterly monsters people for a living. But while he's been more or less untouchable on the mat, it's become apparent something has finally started rolling Teddy for a change. See, he's officially become so famous that France has selected the talismanic national hero to be rolled out at almost every significant public event. At Christmas time in Paris, they rolled him out to kick off the festivities along the Champs-Élysées. When the tennis world descended on the capital for the French Open in 2017 and #1 ranked Andy Murray was doing the press rounds, Big Ted was rolled out again. We agree, Andy. You look ridiculously untough next to the champ. As Teddy was an absolute certainty to win his second Olympic gold, they rolled him out carrying the flag for France in Rio. And when Paris decided to bid for the 2024 Olympic Games, it's no surprise they rolled out Teddy yet again as a face on the campaign trail. Speaking of his face, it's no wonder they chose it, because where most judokas end up busted with cauliflower ears and twisted bodies, no one gets near Teddy, so he's maintained his dashing good looks. Big Ted became so utterly dominant that his coach, Frank Chambilli, observed, "On Planet Judo, he is all alone." Yet he always referred to his heavyweight rivals as the Wolves, knowing full well that if he ever let his guard down, he'd be devoured. Part of his success has been his incredible genetics. 6'6" and averaging around 130 kilograms, Teddy's advantage is that he moves like a middleweight, coordinated and nimble with the raw power of the big guys. It's a credit to the man's commitment, because one of his favourite catch cries is, "Never let anyone steal your beefsteak." In other words, Big Ted loves his food, but he obviously loves winning more. Anyway, while Teddy is clearly being rolled all over the place these days, it really doesn't seem to bother him. As for flipping the switch on Christmas, the big guy seemed genuinely sentimental.
When I was little, my father used to take me to the Champs-Élysées at Christmas time, the best moment for this avenue. We all wait for this magical moment, not only the French, but also the people from the rest of the world. They call it the most beautiful avenue in the world, so it's a great honor to be chosen to press that button.
The honor of being flag bearer for France? Well, it showed he was just as committed to the national cause as his own glory. Stoked that the French came home with its greatest medal haul since 1900. And the perks that come with his success can't be too bad either. Here, getting to roll out as a VIP at the Cannes Film Festival with his gorgeous wife. Yep, Teddy rolled enough guys to become the greatest judoka ever, and the rollback is something he looks happy to embrace. After the break, was heavyweight boxing at its best back in the good old days? That late, great Muhammad Ali fellow really has got something to answer for. When he came along as a ridiculously brash and handsome Cassius Clay, he changed the way pre-fight marketing was handled forever.
You can look at me, I'm loaded with confidence. I can't beat me. I had 180 amateur fights, 1 2 professional fights, and I'm fit as a girl. I don't get hit. Like, I don't get hit, I'm so pretty. I want to make one prediction. I'm not calling.
The Clay Ali boasts raised the bar for trash talking so high that anyone trying to copy him has been punching out of their division.
I'm too fast.
And low-grade jerks like Conor McGregor just seem crass. The pre-Clay and Ali era was so much more innocent and humble. Like the way world champion Jersey Joe Walcott and challenger Rocky Marciano publicized their heavyweight title fight in 1952.
Hoping to give the axe to his youthful opponent, Jersey Joe Walcott gets in fighting trim at training headquarters in Atlantic City. Joe is keeping sharp so as to retain the world's heavyweight title he's already successfully defended. Deeply religious and also a great family man. At his training camp in Grossinger, New York, the contender for Joe's title sets out for a workout. Rocky Marciano tunes up for the coming big bout in Philadelphia, where he'll match his youth and speed against the savvy and punch of the ageless Walcott. Road work over, he helps out with the chores. Pays to keep on the good side of the cook. The experts are picking Rocky to win, but then the experts aren't always right. We'll soon see.
Marciano won that one by knockout in the 13th round, although Walcott had dominated the fight right up till then and was way ahead on points. But Rocky wore him down, as he did in every one of his 49 fights, taking 43 by knockout with his swarming, brawling, ugly but effective style. So ugly that for Rocky to be remembered so fondly, he had to have a warm public persona. Whether munching on an apple, cooking some stew, or simply attending no-fuss press conferences, Rocky came across as just your average Italian-American boy who treated opponents, press and public with respect, and had a fist like a rock. Rocky had to fight like a brawler because at 5 foot 10.5 inches or 179 centimeters, he was the second smallest world heavyweight champion ever, behind only the early 1900s fighter Tommy Burns. His 67-inch reach required him to get in and under to land his punches before delivering the KO. Everybody loved Rocky. He was the inspiration for Sylvester Stallone's Rocky Balboa. And like that character, he never forgot where he came from and never lost touch with the reality that he was only ever one punch away from disaster. Devoted to his wife Barbara, the sweetheart he met in his hometown of Brockton, and married when he was still an amateur, he stunned the boxing world when he retired, 7 months after his 49th fight, beating Archie Moore in a 9th round knockout in September 1955.
I would like to announce my retirement from boxing at this time. Why? Why? Because of my family, wife, daughter, and my folks.
Rocky's legacy is that he showed it as possible for world champions to retire without being beaten. And to retire without coming back. He never forgot the sadness he felt when he ended the career of the great Joe Louis, who'd come back only to suffer a ferocious beating at the hands of The Rock.
I like to profit by others' mistakes, and if Joe Louis couldn't make a successful comeback, I will not try it.
Instead, he worked as a referee, as a boxing commentator, and was always a soft touch for friends wanting favors. In August 1969, he was flying from a private dinner in Chicago to his home in Florida to celebrate his birthday with his wife. He agreed to make a stopover in Iowa to give a speech as a favor for the son of a friend. But at night, in a heavy storm, the Cessna 172 slammed into a tree, and Rocky and 2 others were killed instantly.
Looks very like the real thing.
We probably won't see his like again, because today's stars just don't seem to have that humility, that respect for the opponent, and for the craft. Can't you just hear Rocky quoting his most famous quote? What could be better than walking down any street in any city and knowing you're the heavyweight champion of the world? Taekwondo originated in Korea, but drew on aspects of some of the other martial arts in the Asian region. A sport with deadly origins, developed in the military, designed to neutralize the enemy with a single, powerful strike. So it's no surprise South Korea and China have done very well at the sport, winning 29 of the 40 gold medals since Taekwondo was introduced to the Olympics in 2000. So how come the queen of the sport is this lass from Wales? Jade Jones, the headhunter. gold medalist in the women's 57-kilogram featherweight division in London 2012 and Rio 2016, and looking to become the first athlete in the history of the sport to win 3 in a row in Tokyo 2020. Jade is a jewel from the Welsh town of Flint, which was very clever and cute of her parents to name her that way. Jade being a stone, and stones being as hard as flint and all. Flint is very proud of their girl, as they showed when she came back from Rio. And no one was prouder than Martin Fulks, Jade's grandfather, who took her to taekwondo lessons when she was 8 as a self-defense mechanism. Obviously, Flint is a tough town.
And it's gone on from there. She's stormed it, basically.
Jade really has stormed it, and while her London gold medal felt somewhat surreal, her Rio victory was even better because of the long-term planning and because everyone else was gunning for her. She built a fierce rivalry with Spanish fighter Eva Calvo Gomez, who beat her consistently for a couple of years after London, until they met at the World Grand Prix final in Mexico in early 2015, when Jones won 7-1.
This time I tried to take the pressure off and just think, you know, it's about winning her in Rio, not winning her now. So just tried to enjoy it and just, you know, do what I do and give her everything I've got, sort of thing. And then, yeah, and then I found it a lot more easier and could see her shots instead of panicking about where they were.
When they inevitably met in the Rio final, Jones got in early. She's known as the headhunter because she likes to kick people in the head. And poor old Gomez copped 2 beauties early, and the gold medal was as good as won. Apart from attending celebrations, life since Rio has been somewhat distracting, fending off offers to switch to MMA, competing in something ridiculous called Tough Mudder in Los Angeles, and appearing on an even more ridiculous and dangerous reality TV show called The Jump, where celebrities go ski jumping, with injuries including a fractured leg for Sir Bradley Wiggins, a dislocated shoulder for swimmer Rebecca Adlington, and fractured vertebrae for gymnast Beth Tweddle. Seriously? Anyway, Jade is as tough as flint and came through unscathed. Now she just has to keep her focus on what she was born to do, kicking people in the head. Still to come, fighters who are just acting, and actors who can actually fight. Actors often give the impression they can fight, but most of the time, they're, you know, acting. Sylvester Stallone, for instance, built a career on the back of playing boxer Rocky Balboa. While Sly probably learned to scrap growing up in Queens, his approach to boxing was more fake it till you make it. Dave Bautista certainly looks the part, 6'6" and 130 kilograms. He's the beast who played Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. But Bautista started his career as a wrestler in the WWF, which we all know isn't the real stuff. Recently, he took up training under Cesar Gracie to get his purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. While he may be new to actual fighting, 130 kilograms of muscle is enough to compensate, and you'd be foolish to pick him in an alley. Jiu-Jitsu and Krav Maga sent Keanu Reeves up for the demands of 2014's punchy film, John Wick.
To reach those goals, those kind of, can you do that? You know, in terms of longer takes, a lot of gun work, a lot of jiu-jitsu, judo, was really fun.
But there's one player who made it in the ring before he had to fake it, the enigmatic Mickey Rourke. Before beginning a career on screen, Rourke was an amateur boxer, racking up 27 wins and only 3 losses. Acting jobs then carried Rourke through the 70s and 80s, but he was famous for being difficult on set. One director referring to him as a dangerous nightmare. And he left the industry to return to the ring, this time professionally, going undefeated over 8 fights. Rourke enjoyed an acting renaissance later in life, scoring the perfect role in the film The Wrestler, demonstrating his blend of flamboyance and tough guy persona.
If you watch some of the old wrestling stuff from the 80s, they're always going like that, throwing their hair back.
Yeah.
It's almost like part of the wrestling move.
Yeah.
They take the time to do that before they hammer you, you know?
To prove the spoils of Hollywood never took his edge off, Rourke returned to the ring in 2014 to fight Elliot Seymour. While he was more than twice Seymour's age, Rourke only needed 2 rounds to send his opponent to the canvas and stop the fight. Nothing fake about that.